Thanks for tuning in to The Solution is You. I hope that you are doing well. I do appreciate each of you for taking time to come over to my channel. If you find value within my content, then make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel. With that, let's go ahead and get into today's subject. Now, the topic for today is strategic planning, and this is in relations to how to navigate life at the basic level. I find that there's a lot of people who just need a little insight on how to navigate life. Sometimes people struggle and they take great reward in hearing just basic information. They don't want to hear anything that's too over the top to where they can't absorb the information. So I just want to provide just some basic information for anyone, especially if you're a person in school, high school, or if you're in college, you're living with your parents, or you're looking for a job. You have a lot of time on your hands. These are just some basic steps and information that you can use to perhaps propel yourself to the next level. So first of all, you have to work on your personality. It's important that you understand how important carrying yourself with a smile is and having great body language. So your posture, standing upright, sitting upright. When you are out in public, just getting used to saying yes and no, and how was your day, and carrying yourself in a great mood at all times. You are always being watched, regardless if you know it or not. And sometimes people will observe you, and you may not even know that. So you do not want to squander a opportunity by not carrying yourself appropriately. So it's important to have a wonderful personality. You want to be radiant, and you want to go out and you want to handle business and be ready for anything that may possibly come up. Number two is you want to increase your skills or your training. So you can do this at home. You can self-educate yourself, read as much material as possible, become very knowledgeable on different subject matters. And also you can take a course at home, get some type of certification in something. You can also get some on-the-job training. So there are a lot of great jobs out there that provide training, and they will pay you for training. So always check with your management or HR department to see, what all available programs are there, and take advantage of them. If you are a person who is looking at going to college and you're low on funds, then you may want to look at enrolling into a junior college. And with junior college, you can apply for financial aid if you see fit. You can also go on a part-time basis, whatever works for you. But you want to make sure that you are putting yourself in position to continuously learn and be productive. Next is you want to look for some type of entry-level job if you are just getting out into the workforce. Usually with an entry-level job, very little experience is needed, and your employer is usually willing to train you. This is a good way to get into the workforce to gain experience, and you want to make sure that you keep your options open because most entry-level jobs do not pay that much starting out, and this is a great way to set yourself up long term because once you have the experience, the money will follow. So you don't want to focus too much with entry-level jobs on what the pay is, but you want to focus in on gaining the experience and the tenure. And as I mentioned, the income will follow. Next up, you want to work on stability. So you want to work on getting you a car, or if you are a person who is content with riding the bus, public transportation, you want to make sure that you invest in some type of a car, and you want to start out with just something basic. You don't want to get into any car notes, but you want to get you a cash car if you can, just a couple of $1,000s or something like that, or a hand-me-down car. If you're riding the bus, you want to get you a monthly pass. It's best to pay for a pass than to pay daily, because you'll save yourself a great deal of money. Either way, you want to make sure that you are punctual. You want to make sure you're arriving at work on ahead of time, ahead of the time that you are to start. And you want to also set yourself up for success by doing the best job that you can once you arrive. It's important to set up yourself to become stable so that you will be known as a reliable person, and people can count on you, and they will choose you to work on projects, and you will be the go-to person whenever there's an opportunity for advancement. This will set you up for the long term to be in a stable position. I want to also mention that when you're putting time into something and you're gaining experience, that you want to allow yourself at least a year or two. Nothing's fast, nothing's quick. So you want to put in at least a year to 2 years before you look at moving or advancing, because you want to establish a track record of being reliable. So that's very important, and it goes a long way. And then it also helps you to build up yourself financially. If you can stay put, whenever you move from place to place, job to job, or whatever, this messes with your money, and it has a great impact on your ability to build wealth, because it takes money to move. It takes money to uh, find a different place of employment. So you want to cut down on those type of things, and you want to focus more on building. Now you should be at a point where you can pick and choose the jobs that work best for you. Once you've gained the experience and you have your car, or you have a good understanding of how to get to your place of employment to get the money that you need consistently, and you have yourself together personally, this is a point where you can pick and choose the jobs as you see fit, because you have the experience, you've created reliability and stability, and you may have made a little more money than when you originally started out on this trek. And so you're at the point where you can pick and choose the type of job that will suit you. So this may be a job that is stress free, or this could be a job that provides you with better income, or it could be one that is more closely related with what you want to do long term. Whenever you establish yourself as a reliable and stable person, and a person who goes beyond the scope of what the work calls for, now you are in position to negotiate, let's say with your employer, your manager, or whoever the appropriate person is. This is the time where you can negotiate salary, you can negotiate location, you can negotiate the scope of your work in some cases. And so this is huge, because this puts you in a position of power. And remember, when you're working, it's a two-way street. And what I found, in dealing with people, especially in the workforce, is that they don't understand that employment is a two-way street. It's just not the employer dictating to you everything, and you have to follow everything that they're saying. It is a two-way street. Usually, there's no contract involved. And some states, there's at-will employers, so they can let you go if they choose, for whatever reason they choose. But you have to understand that you do have some type of power and say so, especially if you are a person who has established yourself. So this is the time to do that. Lastly, you want to work on multiplying your income, and there's many ways to do this. So to multiply your income is you can work overtime. So there are some employers that provide you with certain amount of overtime, or sometimes they may have unlimited amount of overtime, and the only thing you have to do is just sign up for it, or in some cases you have to request for it. There's nothing wrong with asking if you're unsure whether your particular employer offers overtime. You can just check with your manager to see what they offer. You can also look at working a full-time and a part-time job. So if you're not in school and you're a person who don't mind putting in work, then you can work a full-time and a part-time job. Or if you are really energetic, you can work two full-time jobs just until you get to the point to where you are making a certain amount of money that you choose, or until you max out. So it's important to make as much money as possible while it is available. Again, this goes towards building wealth. This also gets you to your goals a lot quicker. It keeps you productive, it keeps you energetic, and it keeps you motivated. So it's important to understand to practice patience. Nothing happens overnight. And when you are patient, this gives you time to kind of look at what you've done up to the point of reflection and to get an understanding of where you want to go. You can evaluate whether all of your efforts are working or if there's some type of adjustment that you need to put in place in order to get to where you need to go. You want to focus on long-term success. Don't get in a habit of looking at a quick turnaround or trying to get a quick buck, because usually that never works. It may work for a week or two, a month or so, but look at long-term success, because usually if you are collaborating with someone and you're working with an employer or a business, they want to know that you're in it long term. They're not really looking to hire anyone who's looking just for a short-term gain. I thank you for listening to me today. Please understand that the solution is you. With that, have a great day.